Our top focus story now about HAL. Is it moving out of Karnataka? There's a whole lot of anger in the Karnataka government. They're claiming that Andhra Pradesh is actually pushing for the HAL facility to be relocated. Is any of this true? Well, let me begin by getting you all of the details. Some reports essentially suggested that Chandrababu Naidu, during his visit to Delhi last week, has offered 10,000 acres of land in Andhra Pradesh's Anantapur district. This is roughly an hour from Bengaluru's airport, so location perfect. Now, these reports suggested that Chandrababu Naidu, while visiting Delhi, proposed to the centre that this could be a possible site for HAL's AMCA and LCA manufacturing units. The Andhra Chief Minister, according to these reports, urged the centre to consider moving the projects to Andhra Pradesh, highlighting proximity to Bengaluru and the fact that there is land easily available. It's over these very reports that the Siddaramaiah government is seeing red. The Karnataka government is lashing out, saying it's one thing to go ahead and request for a new HAL facility, but quite another to push for relocating existing projects, because they say that that's a threat then to Karnataka's welfare, to Bengaluru, and so they're saying that it's simply not done, because this then attacks the very spirit of cooperation, as the Karnataka government has put it. Let me run you through all the reactions that have come in from the Karnataka government, and then I'll run you through what the Andhra government has had to say.
I don't want to comment on whatever they demand, but Karnataka will not allow any of the which has been functioning well. If they want, let them have the new. But I want my parliament members and my central ministers who are there to react on this. But as a government, we will not allow anything to be shifted.
They offered 10,000 acres of land near to Bengaluru.
We have all those lands with us only. We have given in Tumkur for HAL. We have given for helicopter division. We will give land. What is there? If they want to expand, we will give. Let them have any new thing. I don't want to come in their way. But as far as Karnataka is concerned, it is our pride. Nehruji gave us. It is a base. Bidar as a base. Bangalore as a base. We have two HAL airports in Bangalore itself. One is in Yelahanka, one is in the HAL airport. So there is no question of it. Their desire, we don't want to intervene on this.
ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ ಇದು ಈ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಚರ್ಚೆನೂ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾನು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಅವರು ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸಚಿವರು, ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಸಚಿವರುಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಚಂದ್ರಬಾಬು ನಾಯ್ಡು ಅವರು ಹಾಗೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಹಾಗೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿಯ HALನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತೊಂದು ದಿವಸ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ದಿನ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಾರಿಡಾರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದೆ ನಾವು ರಾಜನಾಥ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅವರನ್ನು ಭೇಟಿಯಾದಾಗ ನಾವು 2022-23 ಏನು UP ಮತ್ತು ತಮಿಳುನಾಡುಗೆ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಾರಿಡಾರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಆ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇದ್ದಾಗ. ಅವಾಗ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಾರಿಡಾರ್.
He is the chief minister of Andhra Pradesh and a senior chief minister also. Let him start a new factory. But as a chief minister, he should not ask to shift from Bangalore to Andhra Pradesh. This is not good.
Okay, sir. Will you oppose, sir, as a government?
100% we will oppose.
Thank you.
But everybody should oppose, including BJP, JDS. Everybody should oppose.
10,000 acres, if 10,000 acres was the requirement to set up HAL, there are vast tracts of land in Rajasthan, there are vast tracts of land in Siberia and Tibet in different parts. So it's not land which is the criteria, it is the talent, the ecosystem. And in India, if you look at which state has the ability to produce this kind of talent and infrastructure and ecosystem, it's Karnataka. If you say which city, it is 100% Bangalore, which drives innovation, which drives entrepreneurship, which drives startup. And this is why people come and set up.
So you've got the Karnataka government there up in arms saying we'll do whatever it takes to ensure HAL doesn't leave Karnataka. But is that something that's even being considered right now? I want you to listen to what the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu actually said last week when he was in Delhi, right after meeting the Defence Minister. Yes, he did talk about offering a certain amount of land in Anantapur to the central government, but at no point did the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu name HAL, name HAL. Listen into this.
రెండోది లేపాక్షి మడకసిర ఇక్కడ ఒక 10,000 ఎకరాలు ఉంది. మిలిటరీ అండ్ సివిల్ ఎయిర్ క్రాఫ్ట్స్ కానీ ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ అదే మరి ఇంకొక పక్కన ఒక ఏరోస్పేస్ ఎకో సిస్టమ్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలని చెప్పి కోరాను. దానికి కూడా ఆయన సుముఖంగా ఉన్నారు.
Okay, so let's just put this in context for you of what Andhra Pradesh said versus how the Karnataka government has responded. Andhra Pradesh essentially has said we've offered 10,000 acres of land in Anandpur, which is about 1 hour away from the Bengaluru airport. And they've said we've offered this land to the defense minister. Chandrababu Naidu in Delhi said we've proposed that a center for military and civil aircraft come up in Anandpur. He also has said that the defense minister is positive to the idea of creating that aerospace ecosystem. To all of this, the Karnataka government has said that it's highly inappropriate to make such an offer, this offer to relocate HAL. So they're saying it's not an additional facility, but relocation of HAL from Bengaluru to Anandpur, which they're saying is not acceptable. And such an offer, according to the Karnataka government, goes against the spirit of cooperation. But I'd like to bring in Sagai Raj, who's joining us live from Bengaluru, and Apurva Jayachandran, who's also joining us live from Kadapa in Andhra Pradesh. Sagai, I'll come across to you first. Why is the Karnataka government here assuming, Sagai, that the Andhra Pradesh government is looking for HAL to be relocated, to be moved out of Bengaluru?
There are reports which suggest that Chandrababu Naidu offered huge acres of land in Andhra Pradesh to establish, or rather to move the setup, the production setup for HAL from Bengaluru to the other state. And if you notice that Bengaluru's prides are HAL, NAL, DRDO, Air Force, and as well as Aeroshow. It is quite synonymous. Whenever you hear these names, the Bengaluru comes to your mind. And definitely, when it comes to these kind of organization, our political leaders in the state of Karnataka, irrespective of party, will definitely not allow, and they will try to agitate. As of now, nothing is on paper, nothing is official. Nobody spoke about this on record, but still there are reports which suggest that all possibilities that the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu might have proposed. But as I told you earlier, nothing on paper. But the ministers have already taken a political jibe, where you can notice that D.K. Shivakumar, the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, where he said that we need not speak about it. Let the central minister who are representing from Karnataka, let the MPs who are representing from Karnataka should raise this issue. At any cost, they will not allow to shift these institutions from Bengaluru to Andhra Pradesh. And Akshita, if you remember that there was also a report that in all possibilities the aero show, which usually happens every alternative year in Bengaluru, might get shifted to Uttar Pradesh, and there was so much of hue and cry where the leaders have opposed this, and including union ministers have assured that it will not get shifted. So it is a sentiment of the people when you're talking about HAL, NAL, DRDO, Air Force, and various other organizations which was started, which is from inception functioning from the state of Karnataka and especially in Bengaluru. So it's a lot of sentiment attached with them, and definitely the politicians will take head on, if at all, if there is any kind of proposal on it.
Okay, so Sagai getting us those details essentially from Bengaluru. Yes, it's something that's considered, HAL is considered to be intrinsic to the identity of Bengaluru, which is why you've got these reactions coming in from the Karnataka government saying it's unacceptable. I want to bring in Apurva Jayachandran, who's joining us live from Kadapa in Andhra Pradesh. Apurva, has there been any clarification from the Andhra Pradesh government? Look, if you listen to what Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has said, he does speak about offering 10,000 acres of land in Anandpur, didn't mention HAL. So have they come out with a clarification amid all of this outrage in Karnataka that, look, we weren't referring to HAL, or was that originally what they actually proposed?
Well, Akshita, I'm just going to give one clarity out here. In fact, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has specifically talked about upcoming projects, be it with HAL or any other, defense manufacturing systems that is there. He's in fact in the meeting that took place with Rajnath Singh. The Chief Minister had clarified, saying that should there be further projects that will be proposed, then let Andhra Pradesh also be one of the states where these manufacturing units can be set up. He talked about how Lepakshi, which is closer to Bengaluru, closer to Andhra Karnataka border. This can also be one of the viable options where, these manufacturing plants can be set up, is what the Chief Minister has stated. In fact, we're also getting to learn that not only Lepakshi, but also several other areas in and around Andhra Pradesh has been sites that the Chief Minister had proposed to Defence Minister Rajnath Rajnath Singh, wherein he said that, listen, we have all of these lands that we can offer. Should there be additional development that the union government is looking into, then they can look into Andhra Pradesh among the other states that are also pitching in for these proposals for the development that is taking place. That's the only response that Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister and in fact Andhra Pradesh government has responded on this as well. Neither have they mentioned HAL or transferring HAL from Bengaluru or Karnataka to Andhra Pradesh. Has any of those talks had been on the table. In fact, Andhra Pradesh government has also clarified, saying that we are open to a lot more projects that will be coming in for Andhra Pradesh as a part of these proposals. This proposal at Lepakshi was also one among the several proposals that had been made to Mr. Rajnath Singh, the defense minister.
We're listing those out on our screens as well, of all of the proposals that the Andhra government has put out. In which case, is it much ado about nothing? Was this just the Andhra government putting up their hand and saying, look, we want development in Andhra, we want a lot more of these facilities to be set up, with no mention of HAL as well. But thanks very much, Sagai Apurva, for joining us with those details. Let's move away and steer away from the politics of it and talk about whether HAL is actually considering moving beyond Bengaluru. I'm not talking about relocation, but actually moving beyond Bengaluru for some of its other facilities. And why, if that happens? Well, because they have faced some challenges as far as growth goes in Bengaluru, because there is a shortage of land. When they first came up in the 1940s, HAL, of course, this Bengaluru was chosen because of how favorable the location was, its proximity to military installations, the weather, etc. Now, with it turning into such an urban pocket, there is a shortage of land. There's also airspace constraints in such a bustling city. Infrastructure bottlenecks are there, which means that if you visit any of the locations where the HAL facilities are in Bengaluru, it's essentially pocketed all around. There's urban development that's happening. And so also another challenge that comes up is that those current facilities that we're referring to of HALs, they're outdated, aging infrastructure. And for it actually to be revamped is also a huge challenge for HAL. I'd like to bring in also Sandeep Unitana on this broadcast for his view about this entire controversy. And Sandeep, I'm of course not going to ask you a political question, but I also wanted to understand from you on whether this is a serious concern for HAL. The fact that, they're not able to perhaps grow as much as they should be because of constraints in Karnataka and Bengaluru.
Absolutely, Akshita. Firstly, you have to understand what Hindustan Aeronautics Limited is. It's a very critical DPSU, Defense Public Sector undertaking. It is the only fighter jet aircraft manufacturer in the country, and it also makes helicopters, all kinds of helicopters, civil, military, combat helicopters. It is a monopoly of sorts. It's spread across 3 states. It's in Karnataka. They have a line in Nashik as well in Maharashtra, and an engine-making division in Odisha, which is in Koraput. So this is fairly spread out, the company. But the primary facility exists in Bengaluru, which, as you mentioned, is completely overcrowded. It cannot expand. It needs to expand because the kind of pressure that the Indian Air Force is placing on HAL because of its declining squadron numbers is enormous. HAL has a capacity for about 20-24 aircraft per year. The Indian Air Force wants those numbers to be ramped up to something like 40+ aircraft every year. Now, these are aircraft that will have to come out from multiple parallel production lines. So while HAL has expanded its existing facilities in Bengaluru, it's hit a ceiling. It cannot go beyond a certain number of lines, which is why they've had to shift the helicopter division to a suburb called Tumkur, which is outside of Bengaluru, and possibly it will look at other such facilities if and when they are offered. Like if Andhra Pradesh offers a complete integrated facility where they can set up, a production line for, say, the AMCA or any other aircraft that they are planning to build, then so be it. But these decisions should be left to the management of HAL and not be, subject to state politics and all. Because at the end of the day, this is not a state public sector undertaking. This is a national asset. It has been created over great expense and investment over decades. So these matters cannot be left to state governments. It has to be decided by the Defense Ministry. And given the kind of pressure that is there on the Indian Air Force's fighter squadrons, we have a sanctioned fighter squadron strength of about 39-40 squadrons. The Air Force is down to about 30 or 32 squadrons, and it really needs to ramp up its capacity very quickly. And HAL is the only company in India at present which can deliver those numbers. So it is for HAL to decide at the end of the day where it wants those numbers to come from. Will it come from a factory in Bengaluru? Will it come from a new factory possibly in Nashik or even in Andhra Pradesh? These are decisions that are best left to HAL.
You're right. Sandeep, thank you very much for joining us here on India Today. Look, we keep talking about Make in India. We keep talking about Atmanirbhar defense and whatnot. Maybe we keep politics out of it and ensure expansion as much as possible, as much needed from every state in the country for the likes of HAL.